Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
All right, let's get into it. Today we're digging into the core ideas of Bari Weiss's book, How to Fight Anti-Semitism. This book really tries to get its arms around a prejudice that's been with us for literally thousands of years, but shows up in ways that can be really hard to nail down.
You know, the book doesn't start with some dry academic theory. It kicks off with a real gut punch, the 2018 Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, which happened in the author's own hometown. Weiss really frames this as a wake-up call, not just for her, but for everyone. It was this moment of realizing that an ancient hatred, one many people thought was basically a thing of the past in America, was back, and it was violent.
And that horrific event leads to the huge question that the book is trying to answer. It's a real puzzle, right? In a world that, at least on paper, values equality and tolerance, why does this one specific form of hatred just keep going and in some cases even get stronger? The book's answer is that we've been looking at it all wrong. It's not just a simple prejudice, it's something else entirely.
So what is it then? Well, the book's core argument is that anti-Semitism isn't just another form of bigotry. It's actually a unique kind of ideological system. Think of it as a conspiracy theory that is incredibly, almost uniquely adaptable. And here we get to the absolute heart of the book's argument. This definition is so important. It reframes anti-Semitism, moving it away from being just another ism. The key words to lock onto here are ever-morphing conspiracy theory. That means it's not a static thing. It literally changes its shape to fit the fears and anxieties of whatever time and place it's in. Now this is where it gets really interesting. The book makes this crucial distinction. Most prejudices, it argues, are about punching down, seeing the other group as somehow lesser or inferior. But anti-Semitism works in the opposite way. It's a worldview that believes it's punching up. It sees itself as bravely fighting back against this secret, all-powerful, and evil group of Jews who are supposedly pulling the strings and controlling the world from the shadows.
Okay, so because it's so adaptable, this conspiracy theory can pop up in completely opposite political ideologies. It's wild. The book shows how it creates these kinds of mirror image hatreds. Let's take a look at how that actually works.
So, on one side of the political spectrum, coming from the far right, the theory paints Jews as these disloyal globalists. The idea is that they're rootless, that they don't have allegiance to any one country, and that they're secretly working to undermine the nation for some kind of shadowy international agenda. It's a very old and very toxic idea.
And then it completely flips. On another side of the spectrum, when you look through a different lens, one that's focused on power, colonialism, and oppression, Jews are suddenly cast as the ultimate symbol of privilege and white power, especially when the state of Israel comes up. So think about that for a second. The exact same group of people is accused of being both anti-nationalist traitors and hyper-nationalist oppressors.
I know this idea of a shape-shifting conspiracy can feel a little abstract. So to make it really stick, the book uses this powerful metaphor to explain how this system actually works inside a society. Building on this idea of an intellectual disease, Weiss asks us to imagine anti-Semitism as a kind of dormant virus. It's something that's always there, carried in the cultural DNA of a society. It might not be active, but the potential is always there.
And this shows you exactly how it works. See, in a healthy, stable society, our collective immune system, our shared norms, our trust in institutions, it all keeps this virus dormant. It keeps it in check. But when that society gets sick, when it's under a lot of stress from, say, political division or economic fear, its immune system gets weak. And that's when the virus activates. It emerges and offers a dangerously simple, conspiratorial answer for what are actually incredibly complex problems.
So this leads to what is maybe the most important takeaway from the book. The return of this conspiracy theory isn't just a problem for Jewish people. It's actually a symptom of a much deeper illness in the society itself.
In the end, the book frames this not just as a fight for one group, but as a fight for the health of liberal democracy for everyone. Why? Because a conspiracy theory is, at its core, a lie. And a society that starts to tolerate or even embrace that kind of lie is a society that is losing its grip on the truth. And that is absolutely toxic for any democracy that wants to survive.
So it leaves us with this really powerful question to chew on. The book basically suggests that anti-Semitism acts as a kind of canary in the coal mine for democracy. What its condition reveals, well, that tells us something really profound about the health of our entire society.
For the full long-form deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.